Hello viewer, welcome back to 54A. Now today I'm just going to do a little beginner's project because I have a few people asking me they want to get a lathe and which one do I recommend. I can only recommend what I've got because I haven't used anything else. What tools do I need? And the easiest thing is just to get a basic set. Usually get 6 in a box. Make sure they're HSS. If you can afford even better, fine, but there's quite a lot of little projects that you can do that are good practice for your tools and you haven't got to worry about going too thin. And so I'm going to do a little sort of pot-bellied Bud Vase today. I've got a piece of yew in the chuck and all I'm going to use is a scraper, spindle gouge. That's about it. It's just practice getting the shapes, round shapes, curved shapes. You haven't even got to worry about hollowing out, just drill a little hole down the middle. And it's a nice simple project for you to practice on before you start getting too ambitious, trying to get your bowl like 1mm thick and so just have a go at this. And yeah, so it's good practice and it's easy to do and it's a great little thing when it's finished. I'm just sort of trying to get it into some sort of shape because you see where the bark used to be here, so there's quite a bit to come off yet. So I'm just going along with the round nose scraper. Nearly got it smooth. There's still little lumps here and there, or indents here and there, but it's got to go quite a way thinner yet. Just carrying on with this scraper for a bit. I think I'm quite happy with that. I do like to get the basic shape of something as early as I can in the piece, and you've got the lines to follow then. If you take it down too far altogether you might not be able to get the exact shape you want, so I get the shape and then I've got a nice contour to take it down nice and evenly. Right, when you're doing something like this, it's if you can sort of pivot the tool where it meets the tool rest, get that kind of action. You can slide along a bit but do that and it keeps a nice even cut then. If you're trying to go like that you might get a corner digging in, so just make sure that you follow the contour of the tool with the contour of the wood and you get a nice smooth cut then with a bit of luck. The smoother the cut, the less sanding you got to do afterwards. There's loads of inclusions in this wood, but that's a yew for you. Right, carry on getting a bit more shape on it now. When you've had enough of using your scraper, get the spindle gouge out and have a bit of a practice with that, and you'll get a really smooth finish then. Well, this wood's a bit rough, but I'm hoping I can cut through that. Starting from there, work your way in. Don't go to the end like that. put the tool the other way around and start from this end and go in, otherwise you'll just start ripping it off all on the edge there. Like that, and you can also already see, I think even the camera's picking that up, how smooth that is. That's a lovely cut there. So you can work your way from there to there and from the end to there, you know, but don't go off the end the wrong way. So just have a practice with your spindle gouge until you've got it exactly how you want it. Don't forget, always rub the bevel along the wood, and you'll see it shining as you go, as long as your tool's nice and sharp. Take your time, you don't have to use a lot of pressure, just smooth actions. Now I've got to start thinking about the base, and I want it obviously wider than the top, but I don't want it to be this wide. I'm taking it down a bit, and you just in that way, turn your tool in that way till you're happy, and you remember where you've got to part it off as well. I'm going to part this off right in that groove, so there won't be an actual foot on it, it'll be dead flat there. So I'm working this now, getting it nice and round, and get the base to the width that I want it. You can also refine the shape using the side of your cutter like that, and just use it as a scraper, nice and gentle again. Like so. That's getting nice and smooth now, nice shape. I still want to take it a bit thinner though on the neck. So I'm going to carry on working on this now, and see you later on. Right, I'm pretty happy with that now, and I've changed my mind, as you do when you're doing wood turning, things just seem to evolve. I am going to put that tiny little foot on there, and I think that'll just set it off a bit. So now I'm just going to flare the end of the vase out. As you can see, it looks a bit silly like that, so I'm just going to open this hole out a bit, just flare it out a bit and make a nice curve, I think. That's too high, so always check you've got your tool rest at the right level for whatever tool you're using. Try and keep it as central as possible. You've got to be a bit more careful here because you've now got no support on the end. I'm just doing very gentle pull cuts. I might even get a smaller tool in there. A little round carbide cutter would do the job. But if you haven't got one, don't worry about it. Carry on doing what I was doing with your little spindle gouge. Like that, and carry on till you're happy with the finish. Now when you're using a carbide cutter, if you think it might be a bit vicious, just tilt it on its side a bit. You can go up to 45 degrees. It just lessens the severity of the cut. There, I've just flared that out now, so that's fine by me. You do exactly what you want to do. You don't have to do this shape, but say for a beginner's piece, it's a great piece to do, and they're not that hard. You can practice on your shapes, use your scraper, use your spindle gouge, and just have some practice with it and get this nice round shape on it. Now the sanding process. If you're using yew like this, well, any wood really, you should use a mask, but yew is extremely toxic, so be very careful. It's your own fault if you damage your lungs. So I'm just going to get my mask on now and start the sanding process down to 240. Then I'll Yorkshire grit it and polish it up, sanding sealer, etc. You know, all the usual stuff. Right, give that a good sanding up to 240 grit. Now I'm going to apply some sanding sealer. There's still little indents in here, little inclusions, and you can feel one there. I could have turned it out, but there may be another one a bit deeper, so why bother? This is yew after all, and I mean, look at there's a hole there, a little inclusion there. There's another one there. It's just such an amazing pattern. You could be turning and turning and turning, you'll never get this piece of wood exactly smooth. There's another one there. I like it like that. So yeah, and you could dig right down to next to nothing and you'll probably still find little inclusions in it. That's the beauty of this wood. Okay, sanding sealer. Protect your lathe bed. And any bit of scrap wood will do, but saves getting any gunge on the bed of your lathe and making things all nasty. This is just cellulose sanding sealant mixed with thinners, 2 to 1, and it dries very, very quickly. Now the good thing when you're making a vase like this, apart from this little top edge, you haven't got to worry about polishing the inside. Just get down as far as you can, which isn't very far, and that'll do. Now I'm not going to rub this down now. I'm going to let it dry and put the Yorkshire grit on. Some people make the mistake of putting the sanding sealant on, then they do the usual wire wool, and then they use the Yorkshire grit. That's not what it says in the instructions. Put your sanding sealant on, which will raise the grain slightly, then let the Yorkshire grit do its work. If you haven't got a tub of Yorkshire grit, don't worry about it, just sand down to 400, 600, whatever you want to sand it to, till you're happy with the finish. I'll give it a good coating of the stuff. Just work it in. You can actually feel it. Just rub that in for a minute or two without the lathe running. This is really good, especially on a wood like yew, which is extremely toxic, because it does not save on the dust that you get from dry sanding. Okay, now I'm going to just spin the lathe up at its lowest revs for a minute or two and work that in. Using the same piece of cloth, or kitchen roll, whatever you've got. Now just increase the revs. And now just get a clean piece of kitchen roll and take all the excess Yorkshire grit off what's left. And when your cloth's clean, there's no more to get off. That's not a bad finish on that, is it? I think even the camera's picking that up now. Yeah. So now I'm just going to polish it up. And I shall give it 2 coats of wood wax 22. And then I'll part it off and show you the finished thing. Okay, there's the finished little pot-bellied Bud Vase. It's a beautiful finish on that. It's like a mirror, and very pleased that, you know, the markings on this yew is absolutely incredible, and so I've just flared it out a bit there. So very simple project, showing you how easy it is to get the curves. And it's good practice, so you don't get any ridges in it, and an easy job to do, so you haven't got to worry about going through the walls, you haven't got to go too thin. It's quite a weighty, chunky little thing, but great practice for beginners, so have a go at one. That's it for today. I don't know what to do next. I've got so many pieces of wood, but I think I might do a nice bowl next. But I'll have a think about it. So thanks very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little beginner's video, and hope it's of some help to you that if you're just starting out, and keep it up. Take it easy. Don't push too hard. Okay, I'll see you soon for the next one. Take care everybody. Bye bye.